most of you know, there are dozens of different effect switchers and true bypass loopers on the market. Each one has its own pros and cons, and the one you choose is completely dependent on what you need your pedal board to do for you. Some are simple and just make all of your pedals true bypass. Others allow you to change the order of your pedals, send and receive MIDI, and create hundreds of presets. Once in a while, something new comes along that changes the way you look at a piece of gear. For me, it's this. The OneControl OC10W Crocodile Tail Loop Wing. It's OneControl's newest effect switcher. They were kind enough to send this to me along with a couple of their pedals to try out. It has 10 true bypass programmable loopers. The first 7 are mono and wired in series, and the last 3 are parallel loops. It has OneControl's famous BJF buffer circuit, a tuner out with a mute switch, full MIDI capability, and the newest feature, Bluetooth control via the new WINGLINK iOS app. You can connect this to your iPhone or iPad via Bluetooth to the WINGLINK app to control and program it remotely. You can even set different settings for live shows and recording sessions in any of the 168 preset slots. And like most switchers, it has a manual mode so you can engage individual loops, and preset mode that allows for MIDI operation, so you can send PC and CC messages to any of your MIDI capable pedals. The OC10W also allows you to control your amp for channel switching, turning the reverb on and off, or engaging your amp's effects loop using any of the 3 Footswitch jacks, with the added option of an 8-pin DIN port. These are the program and loop switches. These switches recall presets in program mode and turn on and off loops 1 through 7 in direct mode. In direct mode, these switches will engage loops 8, 9, and 10. In program mode, they'll only function as a mute, bank up, and bank down. This is the mute switch. It mutes the outputs of the OC10W and sends the signal from the inputs to the tuner jack, allowing for quiet tuning. Taking a look at the top panel, these are the program buttons. When the OC10W is in direct mode, you can manually engage any of the 10 loops. When a loop is engaged, the corresponding button will light up. In this case, you can see loops 2, 7, and 8 are turned on. In program mode, the program buttons will light up to show you which loops are turned on in each preset. These are the multifunction buttons. In program mode, the first button toggles between the preset name, the latching status of Footswitch 1, 2, and 3, and the MIDI settings for that preset. The LEDs underneath the LCD screen will light up accordingly. The other 3 buttons will toggle the latching status of Footswitch 1, 2, and 3, and scroll through values for naming presets and setting PC and CC messages. This is the LCD screen. In direct mode, the screen will show 5 solid lines. In program mode, the screen will show the current preset name. As you cycle through presets, the name will change. When you press the bank up or bank down foot switch, the bank name will change. When editing presets, the LEDs below the screen will light up depending on the parameter that's being edited. To edit MIDI settings, press the Name Footswitch MIDI Multifunction button until the MIDI LED is lit. The P stands for Program Change. The number shows which program change you're editing, and the program change value, 0 through 127, is to the right. Use the multifunction buttons to set the values. The C stands for Control Change. The number to the right is the CC number. On the next screen, you set the CC value, 0 through 127. To edit the preset name, press the Name Footswitch MIDI Multifunction button until the name LED is lit. Use the multifunction buttons to cycle through letters to name the preset. This is the Footswitch configuration panel. In the left position, the Footswitch 3 multi-jack switch configures the Footswitch 3 jack to work as a latching type jack. The tip and sleeve are controlled by a relay in Footswitch 3. In the right position, Footswitch 3 serves as a multi-jack, which is an output of a switching module, which can replace the original Footswitch of some vintage amps. The 8-pin DIN jack is configured by 4 toggle switches. The Footswitch 1 relay can be chosen to connect pins 1 and 7, or no connection. Footswitch 2 relay connects pins 2 and 6, or no connection. The Footswitch 3 relay connects pins 3 and 5, or no connection. The sleeve switch sets the sleeve of the 8-pin DIN, connects pins 8 and 4, or no connection. Taking a look at the rear panel, there are 5-pin DIN MIDI in and MIDI out jacks. The BJF buffer input utilizes the BJF buffered circuit and sends the buffered signal to loop 1. The BJF buffer output outputs the buffered signal. The input sends an unbuffered signal to loop 1. Output 1 outputs the buffered signal. The tuner out outputs the guitar signal to a tuner when the mute switch is engaged, ensuring silent tuning. This is the 8-pin DIN jack. This supports amp switching for amps that use a DIN jack, typically found in vintage amps. These are the 3 Footswitch jacks. Footswitch 1 can support a TRS or stereo cable for switching. Footswitch 2 can support a TS or mono cable for switching. Footswitch 3 can support the output of a switching module. Loops 1 through 7 send and return are the 7 mono loops wired in series. The input and output of loops 8, 9, and 10 are wired in parallel and are completely isolated from loops 1 through 7. Internally, the loops are connected in series unless a cable is connected to the in or out jack of any one loop. When a cable is connected to the input jack of loops 9 or 10, it will isolate that loop from the previous loop, meaning if you connect a cable to the input jack of loop 9, it will be isolated from loop 8, and the same goes for loop 10. When a cable is connected to the output jack of loops 8 or 9, it will isolate that loop from the next loop, meaning if you connect a cable to the output jack of loop 8, it will be isolated from loop 9, and the same goes for loop 9. The send and return of loops 8, 9, and 10 connect to any pedal's input and output jack in the normal method. So now we're going to take a look at the OneControl WINGLINK iOS app. You can use the app to control and program the OC10W remotely. To start, make sure the OC10W is powered on, and then click Device, and then click Crocodile Tail Loop Wing. The app has 4 subpages: Configuration for general setup, a preset page, ME for preset backup and restore, and a Footswitch map. Going into the configuration page, here's where you can set the MIDI channel mode setup. The OC10W has 16 MIDI message groups, and each group contains a preset CC number, a PC number, and a CC number. Here in standard mode, there are 16 channels, and each channel is assigned one preset CC number, one PC number, and one CC number. In Professional 1 mode, it's organized into 8 channels. In Professional 2 mode, it's organized into 4 channels. The on button turns a MIDI group on or off. When a group is turned off, no messages will be sent. The preset CC number is a value fixed control change number. The value is always 127. The controller can be edited and is typically used for a tap tempo control. So for example, if CC number 93 is used for tap tempo control, you'll assign 93 to the preset CC number. The OC10W will send CC number 93 and 127 as tap tempo for the device you're trying to control. The MIDI through switch turns the MIDI through on or off. When MIDI through is on, the MIDI output jack will output what the MIDI input receives. On the preset page, you can edit loops, foot switches, and MIDI in any preset. It also has an instant backup function. You can scroll through the banks and page numbers in order to edit a preset. You can also change the MIDI group that you want to edit. Here you can enter the PC number and CC number and the control value number. When all of the correct MIDI information is inputted, you can hit check and it will send the MIDI message to the device. Here you can also adjust the name of a preset. It only allows 5 characters. You can also set the loops that you want turned on for each individual preset, as well as the foot switches. Once your preset is set, you can save it. Moving on to the ME page, this page is used for data backup and restore. All your presets can be saved onto your iPhone or iPad, and WINGLINK organizes all your presets in a full bank as a backup file. You can scroll through the bank bar, find the bank that you need, hit save, and it will pull the data from the OC10W and store it as a file on your device. If you need to send information back to the OC10W, you click restore, select the save file, and it will send it to the OC10W. The file manager is used to manage, rename, and delete backup files. From this page, you can also factory reset the OC10W. On the Footswitch map page, it gives you a tutorial on how to connect the OC10W to your amp with the Footswitch jacks. Here it shows that the amp's effects loop is connected to Footswitch 1, Footswitch 2 is connected to the channel switching, and Footswitch 3 is connected to the amp's tremolo. When you edit individual presets, you can set which foot switch you want to be active. So let me know what you think about the OC10 in the comments. In the description box below, you can find a link to the OneControl page so you can check this out for yourself. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon and be notified of future videos.